2025 has started out fairly slow for the restaurant industry. Is it just a laggard in one specific sector, or is this a warning sign for the broader economy? Find out my thoughts on this edition of the Video Market Update. After a fairly robust 2024, driven largely in part by the desire of consumers to have lower priced options, restaurants went with value meals and value menus that really sparked people's curiosity and drove same-store sales. The beginning of this year has seen a slowdown. From January to December, we've seen a pretty healthy decline in same-store sales, and it appears that February and into the spring is going to hold that trend forward. And so why are restaurants, mostly fast casual, think of places like Chipotle and fast food restaurants, why are they struggling relative to last year? Well, there's been a couple of reasons given. Chipotle specifically said, well, the California wildfires really hurt them. Weather's been an issue, inflation's been an issue, but I think the bigger, more concerning one is the consumer sentiment around spending. Subway's president said that he thinks that customers are still, quote, wary of what's going on in the market. When people start making decisions based on what they're thinking is going to happen, right? People make buying decisions based on perception. They perceive the market slowing down. They perceive that there's uncertainty, right? That's different than actual uncertainty or actual worry because we are actually in a recession. So when perception becomes reality, we start to see a slowdown and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's gotten so bad at the beginning of the year that Starbucks, which has had 4 negative quarters in a row, has suspended first quarter guidance. What does that mean? That means Starbucks believes their first quarter is going to be so bad, they don't even want to tell you what they think is going to happen, because either way, it's going to probably be worse than what they expect. Now, the big question going forward is this something that can be turned around? Now, most people in the restaurant industry, right, people who run companies, people who analyze it, believe it will turn around and it will get better towards the end of the year. And I think that's because, one, you can't blame the weather in spring and summer, but I think the bigger issue is I think there's a lot of, you could say, charitably uncertainty or cynically chaos that's kind of around it's just kind of in the air right now about everything that's going on in the economy and in the market. And when that uncertainty or chaos kind of slows down, I think consumers can step back and say, in my own personal situation, things are okay. I'm optimistic for the future. And so I think that's why the restaurant industry looks at the rest of the year and says, we may be slowing, we may start slow, but we think we'll end fairly well. And so I believe that same thing too. Now, what's the main concern? Is this a leading indicator of what's going to happen in the economy? Or is this one sector that's had a couple of bad weeks, a couple of bad months, and sales are still up, they're just slower than they were to close out last year? I don't necessarily think it's a bellwether of something to come, but again, these little data points are things that we're looking for to try to get a sense of what's going to happen in the broader economy and what's going to happen directly in the stock market. So kind of a random thought on this video, but one I think is important as we look for the rest of the year and again, to just get more information going forward. So if you have any questions on this or anything you're seeing in the market, let me know. But if not, as always, I hope you make it a great week.